G'day people, I've got 3 tips for you today and the reason why I haven't been carving, and that is at the end, so stay tuned to the end. Okay, so a lot of people have probably seen that I carve with these sponges and I use them under my hands like this. I sometimes come in and I'll use them like this as well, under this hand or under the elbow. It just takes a little bit of the pressure off your hand against a hard surface. Also, maybe it takes a little bit of the vibration away from carving, because I carve a lot and I used to get a lot of like RSI, repetitive strain injury, and I'd sort of get all these pains up here. But I find if I do this and I take regular breaks, I don't tend to get that so often, which is good. Yeah, I actually quite like them because you can sort of like really sort of get down onto the table and press down harder, and it sort of like gives a little bit more, I guess, what would you say, a little bit more stability on your carving, and you can sort of like hold the carving. Say I was doing this one, obviously not with that, but sort of like I'd sort of like hold it like this, and I'd sort of like press it into the sponge and carve like that. Okay, so I tend to do all my carving in this little area here, and you'll notice I don't actually have, like a lot of carvers have that table with the holes in it, and then I have the vacuum cleaner underneath or some kind of extractor system. I don't do that, but what I do is I always wear a mask, but I also have got this vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to get set up for this one day. I'm telling you, I've got to just find the time. And so I've got these cable ties here, so I put that in there like that, kind of hold it in between my legs. It's kind of slightly rude, but anyway, it depends how you look at it. Right, okay, so then I will carve like this, and I'm tending to carve like this so the dust is spurting up like this, and it will go down there. That's kind of how I do it. It's kind of like an easy way of setting a dust extractor system up. Okay, so it's always good to have some kind of burr holder, and I just made this one out of a piece of wood, and just essentially I just drilled holes in it, and I put those 2 carvings on the end. You don't have to do that, but you can sort of like decorate your burr holder if you want. So I tend to organize them as in, at this end I have Cutzel burrs, and at the other end I have lots of other burrs that I tend to use a lot. And if the burrs don't fit on there, I use this little box, and I put a few burrs that I don't use very often in this little box. So there's the Dremel flap sander, but I also find what's useful is having a little Phillips screwdriver in that, because on the Dremel drum sanders, like this one here, there's a little screw on the end, so I'll always keep one of these handy to change that out. Okay, and so instead of using the Dremel spanner, that one there, I will just have this spanner, which is a 3/8, I believe, or 10 millimeters. And I just have that because I tend to lose those little Dremel spanners. And so these ones are quite big. I've got about 2 of them floating around, I guess you'd say. But yeah, so I use those, and that's pretty much my carving table. Okay, so the reason why I haven't been carving is, well, it's because of this. Look at her. This is Minnie, and she's a little labradoodle, sort of like a flat coat labradoodle. Hey, Minnie, what do you reckon? She's been taking a lot of my time up. Here we are.